Hello everyone, welcome back to our course. In the following two sections, we will talk about the components of intercultural communication competence. The components can be classified as individual components and contextual components, but we will merely explicate the former. The individual components are motivation, knowledge, behaviors and skills, and attitudes. The first component is motivation. According to Goody-Gunst, motivation is made up of a number of needs: for a sense of security as a human being, for a sense of predictability, for a sense of group inclusion, for a sense of a common shared world, for symbolic material gratification, to avoid diffuse anxiety, and to sustain our self-conceptions. It includes the overall set of emotional associations that people have as they actually communicate interculturally. It is an important aspect of developing intercultural communication competence. However, there are still lots of people lacking motivation. They may be members of powerful groups who often think they do not need to know much about other cultures or people who are uncomfortable, anxious, uncertain, and fearful about intercultural communication. If you are not motivated to communicate with others, it probably doesn't matter what other skills you possess. So the first step in developing intercultural communication competence may be to examine your motivation to reach out to others who are culturally different. The second component is knowledge. The knowledge component involves what we know about ourselves and others, and about various aspects of communication. It refers to the cognitive information you need to have about the people, the context, and the norms of appropriateness operating in a specific culture. Without such knowledge, it is unlikely that you will interpret correctly the meaning of other people's messages, nor will you be able to determine and select appropriate and effective behaviors in a particular context. The important knowledge includes culture general and culture specific information. The former provides insights into the intercultural communication process abstractly, and can therefore be a very powerful tool in making sense of cultural practices in spite of the cultures involved. The latter one is used to understand a particular culture. Such knowledge should include information about what maintains the culture's uniqueness and what are the predominant culture patterns. We can't know everything about all cultures or develop relationships with people from all cultural groups. So, it is important to acquire some general knowledge about cultural differences and some specific knowledge related to certain cultures. The third component is behaviors and skills. There seem to be two levels of behavioral competence: the macro level and the micro level. The macro level includes many culture general behaviors, such as being respectful, being polite, showing interest, and acting friendly. Then, the micro level is the implementation of general behaviors in culture-specific way. It is significant for you to realize these different levels of behaviors and be able to adapt to them. William Howell, an American famous intercultural scholar, identified 4 levels of intercultural communication competence: unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competence. Unconscious incompetence is the approach in which we are not conscious of differences and do not need to act in any particular way. At the level of conscious incompetence, we realize that things may not be going well in the interactions, but we are not sure why. At the level of conscious competence, we focus on analytic thinking and learning. Reaching this level is a necessary part of the process of becoming a competent communicator. And the last level is unconscious competence, which is the level at which communication goes smoothly but is not a conscious process. This level of competence is not something we can acquire by consciously trying to.